Abiyasa. It's
Hello,
nice to
hello.
have you here. Welcome to our KreARTif interview session. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what this campaign is about? It's about spreading knowledge about art in Indonesia and Malaysia.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
Mr. Abiyasa, independent illustrator, graphic designer, artist. How did you get started into this field of work?
You make it sound really cool. Okay, so uh, so I think it goes back to when I was still a child. Like I've always loved drawing. I
Oh,
think
okay.
I love drawing animals. Yeah, and thankfully my parents kind of like pushed me into it.
Mm.
So yeah, ever since I was a kid, I've always loved drawing. But I guess when I was in high school, in middle school, like growing up, I was exposed to other hobbies as well. So I
Hmm.
kind of started to forget about it. But
Okay.
then, as I was about to enter university, I was like, which major should I take? Should I take? Because a lot of my friends, they were like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a scientist, blah, blah, blah. And I was
Yeah.
like, doctor seems cool. But then I was like, is that really what I want to do? Because I feel like, so I entered college in 2011, right?
Okay.
And at that time, I feel like graphic design was not really a thing. Like it was a thing, but it was really not. It
It
was
wasn't
not
as
known
popular
as.
as it is now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was a bit confused at first, but then my friend encouraged me to major in graphic design,
Hmm.
and so I decided to take it. So that's when I guess when I really started to like pursue a career in graphic design.
All right. So yeah, I actually have been noticing a lot of your work in Instagram and also in Behance.
Hmm.
Actually, I'm actually quite proud to admit that I was the one who picked for you for to be
Okay,
featured
thank you.
because I was scrolling through Instagram and I was like, you know what, we
Uh-huh.
should get this guy. And
Thank you.
what
Thanks for
stood
having me.
out,
Thanks for bringing me.
yeah, what stood out to me was your style. So I gotta ask, where do you get
Okay.
that style inspiration for your artworks?
Where did I get that style inspiration? Okay, so the thing is, uh, I don't know. People keep asking me like, "How did you find your own style?" And I'm like, I don't know. It just happened.
That's called a
So I feel like
genius. Okay.
even no, not really, because I feel like even as of today, I'm still trying. I'm still trying to find, not trying to find. Like my style just keeps on evolving.
Okay. So there's no
Yeah. The
fixated
more
style.
you,
Yeah.
I guess you can say so. Like the more inspirations that you get, the more your style will evolve. Will
Mm,
evolve. I mean,
right.
so yeah. But I would say like so. Okay, so when I was in college, I did a 3-month internship in
Mm,
this small illustration studio in Jakarta,
okay.
and I guess that was the time where it kind of shaped my illustration style the most.
Mm,
I learned a lot from my mentor.
yeah.
And yeah, I think that's when where like I was starting to like believe in my illustration style, because before that I was just trying to explore so many different things like
Yeah.
manual drawing and then like ink and then watercolor and everything. But that's, I feel like, was the one where I started to dive into this like vector illustration style.
Oh, okay, okay. That's really interesting how you get to it. And what I'm getting from you is you're saying that art actually evolves through time. There's no
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, there's no one equation. You always evolve. It goes
Yep.
according to time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what an artist
especially
would
in
say. Yeah.
yeah, right. Especially in graphic design, right? Because we're so connected to technology,
Yeah.
right? So as long as the technology keeps on evolving, then the graphic design will follow, as always.
Yeah. It's a good time for people to start exploring graphic design as a career, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a trend right now.
But some parents still believe that being in the art industry can't get you far. What are your thoughts about it?
That is actually true because it actually happened to me personally.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I told my parents that I was about to pursue graphic design, my mom was very supportive. My mom, she's
Oh.
always been supportive throughout my career. But
Mhm.
my dad, he was like, "Are you sure? You don't want to
Okay.
be a scientist?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
want to be a doctor?
I get you. I
You don't want
get
to
you.
learn math? Yeah, right." So
Hmm.
I feel like it took time for him to like believe in what I was about to do. So my job was at the time to convince him that this is really the one that I want to do. Because I guess, after spending years in this industry, I kind of get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, graphic design is still new to everybody.
Mhm.
Especially, I guess, in Indonesia, graphic design started quite late, I believe.
Mhm.
So, from my parents' generation, they had no idea what graphic design is.
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
Even, yeah, right? So, yeah, I guess it's just because they're from a different generation, and at that time, graphic design was not really a thing. So I had to make sure that they understand what graphic design is really about. And that graphic design is a very promising career for the future. So yeah, that's what I did basically.
Mm. Another factor adding up into why people don't really venture into graphic design, I feel like, is about the
Hmm.
cost. Because I know a lot of people
Oh.
think that if you don't have a good computer, you can't really work the programs or
Hmm.
the applications. So, to
Right.
what extent does your hardware define your skill set?
Hmm. I mean, okay, your hardware definitely does affect your working skills, but I'm not saying that you have to like the most advanced like computer ever, or you have to have the newest computer ever. But as long as it's compatible with what you do, then it should be fine. Like at the moment, I'm using like two hardwares. At the moment, I'm using a
Oh,
personal computer,
okay.
and then I'm using a laptop. And this personal computer, actually, my boss, like my former boss, gave me to it, and I
Oh,
still use
okay.
it to this day. So, and I don't think it's like a brand new computer at all. I think
Mm,
it's a pretty old computer, but it's still looking fine. So I'm good with it. And I remember when I was in college, because I didn't make money at the time. Like
oh,
I decided to just focus on college, and I did not take any freelance work at all.
okay.
So I didn't have money. I didn't make any money. So I was stuck with the same laptop throughout the whole 4 years. So by the end of the year, my laptop started acting up.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was the final year, and it was really frustrating. It was a struggle.
Mm,
Every time you try to open Adobe Illustrator, it keeps on like not responding, and it's really frustrating. So yeah, definitely, I would say your hardware kind of helps
yeah.
the
So
way you work.
your hardware is like an investment for a business. If you the more you
Yes.
invest, the more effective or the more efficient your career will be because of how you
Yeah.
work and like all the possible opportunities you get from that high end technology, if I may.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely helps. It does.
Hmm. And as a graduate from a graphic design kind of course, do you think enrolling into a
Hmm.
graphic design or illustration course as a formal education would be a substantial difference to, let's say, independent learning?
Hmm. Mm. I mean, obviously, that enrolling in university definitely it has its benefits. Like it's definitely very beneficial for your career in a long run, but it doesn't mean that you cannot become a graphic designer without going to uni. Like you can if you want to, but the thing is, with going to university or with taking graphic design or illustration courses, you are able to start from the bottom. You are able to start from zero. Because I noticed that these days we have a lot of like so-called graphic designers,
Okay.
like they call them. designers because they know how to operate Photoshop or Illustrator.
Okay.
And for me, that's not how it works. Like to become a graphic designer,
That's
you have
not
to
enough.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to start from the basics. You have to learn the fundamental basics. You have to learn about colors, compositions,
Mhm.
lines. You have to learn about the theories, and you just cannot start right away with the software. Is in the later phase. You have to start from zero.
Mhm.
So that's the thing that you get. One of the things that you get from enrolling in university or taking courses, and also when you are in a university, you are surrounded with a group of people who have
Yeah.
the same passion as you, who are as passionate as you. So it definitely helps to be put in such an environment, because at least for me, seeing my friends doing well with their tasks and assignments, it kind of motivates me to do
Yeah.
more. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't mean to compare myself, but it's just that seeing my friends succeed, it kind of makes me think that, oh, if they can do it, then I can do it
Yeah.
too.
It
So
motivates
it
you.
definitely,
It
yeah,
motivates you
exactly,
to do better.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's like some of the perks that you get by enrolling in university that you might not get when you just learn by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
yeah, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you cannot become a graphic designer. As long as you keep learning and you start from the basics, and then you meet other people, you cannot do it by yourself. You have to connect with other people. You have to
You have
learn
the
from
network.
somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's the thing. So it's kind of a yes and a no at the same time. Depends on how you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, there's a whole discussion thing going on that you need to decide for yourself. It is possible. It's harder,
Mm-hmm.
and like, but
It's possible.
yeah, I get where you're coming from, and I think that the people, followers from We Are KreARTif can definitely benefit from your insight there too. But what I'm also curious about is, I like
Uh-huh.
how you said that your environment supported you and like how they motivated you to get better, and you talk about your mentor and your old boss. But I feel like that you had the honor of getting into a proper education in that course.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
could you recommend several communities of graphic designers in Indonesia or Southeast Asia that could actually help you if you can't really be in that formal education?
Mm, okay, so I'm gonna speak based on my experience
Okay,
by
yes.
being a graphic designer in this city in Badung specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Indonesia, I think we have this like graphic design association. Association is called, I believe it's called ADGI, which stands for Asosiasi Desainer Grafis Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's really, really helpful
Mm.
for you to like connect with other people, because I believe they always like held some events a few times in a year,
Mm-hmm.
like an exhibition, or it could be like a workshop, a talk show, and it could be really helpful to expand your network. And I believe in Bandung itself, Bandung is like as a whole is very community based as a
Mm.
city.
Yeah.
A lot of communities for every aspect.
Yeah.
And for graphic design, we have this community called Bandung Design Friendly.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's targeted towards more like students, like university students
Mm.
or high school students who want to pursue graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely really helpful as well.
But it's open for public. That
It's open for public, definitely.
wow, that is really great for people in Bandung and perhaps Indonesia if you're planning on joining or like embarking on this crazy journey of being a graphic designer and illustrator. You should really take note of what Abiyasa had to say about the community. Lastly, we're basically done for the interview, but since
Okay.
you had a lot of these insights, I was wondering
Mhm.
if you could leave us with some parting words of your own.
Oh gosh. Uh, I don't know. Just I think just keep learning every day. Like you're never too good to learn something new. Just be open to, just be open to something new. Just be brave to explore something new and just challenge yourself.
Thank you for those wise words, and I hope that all our followers in We Are KreARTif can be inspired by your by those words and this insightful interview. Thank you, Mr. Abiyasa, for joining us
Thank
in
you.
our KreARTif interview session.
Thank you for having me once again.